Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 463. Today is Sunday, April 28th, 2024, and I'm glad you could join me today. What a meet. There does seem to be quite a bit to share, which works out. So I am recording a little bit later than intended because I decided to participate in local yarn shop day yesterday, um, and that meant that I didn't have time to record before the sunset. Actually, I ended up starting to head back from the yarn shop after DPN had woken up from his nap, so. But it's also just medium level hilarious, because it was a case where went and had a hair, got the guy's haircuts, and then we played at the park, which is near the haircut place, and that's like, I would like to go to the yarn shop. So I got dropped off, ended up having lunch, got to try a muffaletta shop, which was lovely, and then hung out in the local yarn shop for a while. So that's Firebird Yarns is the closest one to my house. It is a steep walk. A steep walk back. But it did make it, so it works out. And then it was also hilarious because I'm like, I don't think there's anything I actually need. And then I changed my mind. Because someone was asking us questions. And I was like, how would I use that yarn? And then I bought the yarn. Whatever. So, and actually, I do need to do a little bit of recovery, but I may not end up doing that here and now. But the dealio is, would it be? I was working on finishing this row and pulled the yarn apart. So this is woolen spun problem. So this is actually the wrong side. But this is the right side of my sleeve. So this is Piper by Carol Sunday that I'm knitting out of Parisville Designs Watershed Flywheel, which is a dyed in the wool woolen spun yarn. And I am, would it be? It was the case where um, came to the realization that it was in fact sleeve cap time after knitting a decent amount of cable. um so whatever, it's fine. So this row will be a cable row, and I'll also have to figure out what the next cap decrease thing is, but it does seem like I'm going to be in a scenario in which the last cable will be in my cap shaping instead of away from it. It would be because I was like knitting along in the cable. I'm like, how long is it till cap shaping? And then I saw that I was an inch and a quarter past that point. True, yeah, something like that. It was like I was at 19 inches. I was supposed to start the sleeve cap shaping at 17 and 3/4. So, and then I had like, what would it be? 18 seems very far from 17 3/4, but it was not. So I had to rip out a decent amount of cabling here in order to get that fixed. And I have yet to recover, but you can't tell. So, what would it be? Like, I've just been doing Russian joins whenever that's been happening. I know it's feltable, but it's pretty easy to Russian join as well. So that's what I've been doing. And so far so good. I know I can't complain about decreasing the number of ends to weave in, especially when it's such a a good way to hide them. So, what is it? Let's see. Oh, yeah, we can sort of give the visual of how much I needed to rip out. um, so not too crazy there, but will require some care and attention, I think, before I'm out in the world again. I could definitely have everything I need in order to fix it, but it was the case where it was like, oh, it's time to go. So it's fine. I also ended up wearing this sweater yesterday and concluded that the sleeves don't bother me at all. So I'm not going to reknit them. So that means that I can take out my barely visible on camera right now waist yarn and just live my best life. So, like, I'm wearing it under a t-shirt, but I definitely some like wrinkles in the t-shirt like I don't really like. But like I can't notice anything weird in the sleeve area, so I don't know, maybe it's fine. So would it be? So I think I still need to decide how I want to wear this one because I definitely do want something underneath it. Um um but it could just be a tank top too. Just because all of the lace basically. And so that was good. It was nice to finally make a decision on that one. Um, yeah, no, it was the case where while I was eating lunch, he was like, "Is that waist shirt?" And you're like, "Yep, I'm deciding." So not too crazy there. Um, and then the other excitement was that I did decide to start swatching for Marshland for DPN. Um, and so what's funny about this, and I think I still need to finish. I still need to finish my swatching process, but hopefully that won't be too long. Is that in order to execute on the logic of my pattern, I needed two darks and two lights. And so whichever way that decided on that, but the colors that I had originally selected, would it be, or the colors that I had sort of had in my pool of deciding, um, just didn't quite have enough contrast there. So I would have probably needed like a darker green, probably. And I don't even know if they had like they probably did have like a darker green. Um, but would it be? But it was the case where what I was trying to execute was having like maximum contrast between my main color, which is navy, and this like cross and aspect pattern, but then also I needed big contrast with some of the other shapes that I was making. So there's like a square and a diamond shape, and so that's where the red comes in. And the other colors that I had just didn't quite work. But I did have a lovely evening playing around with colored pencils. I think this was probably like Sunday night. I think I got serious about this. But these were some of the original colors that I did. So, like, technically speaking, I'm sort of taking pieces from all of them. So it'd be the case for this guy here, I have the navy and the tan color. And honestly, the tan was a little bit too dark, which I think was deceptive for this. And then I have the blue as some of this fill. And then the blue does contrast nicely with the navy. But then I have red in for where I've had green in some of these other situations. And like maybe this one would have gone. But it definitely would have been a lower contrast situation. And this was one where I tried to have 5 colors, and I think I've just accepted that 4 colors is going to be it. But I was sort of drawing inspiration from the adult sweater, which gets to have 5 colors, versus the 2 to 4 size, which is just calling for 4. So some elements of the yoke aren't in the smaller sizes. Which does give me a lot of respect for those guys. Of trying to figure out how to make it work. I was also amused that this swatch that I'm working on now will be all the colors of the what is it, the Ulysses that I had not opened up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I did the what was it? I did my coloring book exercise Sunday night so that I would have something to share. So that I would have some swatching that I could do Monday night when I was at midnight, and then it was the case where concluded that the US 5 needles were a little bit too tight for this yarn. It's really stinking soft. Like, this is, or would it be definitely a contrast from the flywheel. Like, the flywheel has a much more complicated color, but it just doesn't have like woolen spun merino. So it's very interesting. I know, can you, yeah. Yeah, so these read much more solid. This has a lot of drama to it. So I'm not too worried about it, but so I think that this project will be a pleasure when I get to work on it, which is lovely. So I'm gonna probably finish the knitting this swatch and take a couple photos. And would be I've already ripped out previous iterations of the swatch, so that's fine. And honestly, what is it? Where are we at now? I'm gonna knit a little bit right now. So I just have to line up the center of the point with the light blue, which is not too crazy. So, oh wait. Yeah, and I definitely am getting like a little bit better about the motions required in order to knit a swatch like this flat with the really long floats instead of cutting a bunch of yarn, because I don't want to cut a bunch of yarn. But it works out. So overall, I think that would it be. And it would be the case where it also, I think, just need to be real about how much my child is like me, and this is definitely a color combo that would look really great on me, so it will also look really great on him too. Like, I think, or what was it? Like, I don't know if it's the case where I'm like, when I'm selecting things, I'm going for different color combos than what I would go for, and like, it's pretty darn similar. So, but it works out. So, I would say getting a good fabric. If it turns out that it's a looser gauge, that's probably fine. It's a-okay in my book for it to be bigger. And I think it's gonna look really nice. So another row added. So should be fun. Is it getting like a ton of my attention? Nah, because like lately I've just been super pooped after work. So there has not been as much knitting in the evenings as usual. So yeah, like I don't even remember how far I was on the sleeve 2 weeks ago. But in exciting news, I did get my package from the Woolery. I finally ordered it. So I got my spinning wheel oil, and then I got 2 more poly bands for the Lendrum because the older band, once it starts falling apart, like it doesn't seem like I can keep it fixed. So I have started, or I've started the third of 5 bobbins that I'm making for my my sweater spin. Um, this is very much so the color aesthetic. But with enough blue, I think I can handle some earth tone color aesthetic. What would it be? Like it's definitely the colors of right now, where you have sort of like the bright spring greens, but also have like lush green grass and bright blue skies, so I'm not complaining. So this has begun, and this is actually the third piece I've gotten. Artfully, this is very awkward spinning wheel position. But this is the third. I'm in the third piece now. My polyband is clear and also super tight. um, so I haven't had my spinning wheel adjusted like this in a very long time. Um, so it is coming along now. My child enjoys participating. um, so like first thing in the morning, like he's like trying to get me to come over in order, or I don't know, he's such a problem solver. He's like trying to figure out what is preventing us from making it go round and round, like handing me the broken drive band. um, what if all these other things. So he thinks it's pretty cool. So he likes to have his feet on the treadles while I'm treadling, but he can just have like his little butt leaned against the chair. He can't actually sit and reach, so it's adorable. I'm not gonna stop it. Um, would be, and that is the case where, like with any time in this room, like it's the scenario where it's like, oh, you're not listening to me. We need to leave. So a lot of times the door of this room is closed. Um, But because I did break out the colored pencils for that colored pencil swatching, I'm so glad we had like the 50 pack. I tried doing it with Sharpie markers and it was an abject failure. um but like now he wants the colored pencils, so I probably need to buy some coloring books and make my child happy because he really wants to color. So whatever, we'll see if I feel up to errands later. Yeah, as woke up feeling pretty gross today, so it might finally be okay enough now, which is good. But it definitely screws up, or would be the case where since I had fun yesterday, means today has to be some errands. So buying groceries for the week, and um I need to go to an Asian grocery store in order to pick up some ingredients for dinner. So I've concluded what what one I was going to because of its parking situation. So whatever, we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. It's probably what I need to do after this. Um so what would it be? So seems like seems like I have my projects coming together. Um had a spinning project again. What would it be? Moving along on a knitting project. Will the color work supersede a cable sweater? Who knows? would it be? I've been mostly working on the cabled sweater, so I'm not too worried about that. Get the sleeves done and go from there. Um, but let's share the yarn I ended up picking up. So I ended up getting 2 skeins. So I got a skein of seismic yarn in this rainbow-tastic colorway, which is Escape. Um, so this is 8515, their butter sock. And then I was hanging out with Viva yesterday because she was having a trunk show. And then I also picked up this Mitchell's Creations yarn, and so this is their Legnape Sap, Louisiana. And this one is Drunken Unicorn. And so what I liked about it was that it had like its little neon rainbow and the black. So I concluded that I had fallen behind on dragon knitting, and so I did want to knit some dragons with both of these. And technically speaking, like I could actually knit them with these at the same time, but I think I'll just do one dragon a piece. So this one's a 75-25 Super Rush Merino Nylon. But I just thought they were gonna be really fun. So, what would it be? Because as you do. But no, it's funny because what is it? I've been letting DPN play with the dragon when we're hanging out in this room, and so to him it is a teddy bear, and he treats it like a stuffed animal, so we'll just let it be a part of the collection and call it good. It's like technically speaking, like I didn't ever really formally give it to him, but whatever. Hilariously, he now sleeps with what is it? A polar bear, Mr. Snuffles. Which is what would it be? Was also like my spouse's lovey when he was a child, and then also a Hayward State University Somebody Loves You bear. So it's like whatever. It was a hand-me-down toy. Hayward State University got renamed like Silicon Valley University or something like that, but it's still in Hayward. Hayward. So would it be? So we just have to laugh about it. So will I be starting Dragon soon? Maybe. We'll see. It was definitely like sure, like surely there was some yarn that would work in my stash too, but I did really like the neon rainbow skeins for whatever reason. And when sitting in Firebird, there is an awful lot of neon rainbow to go around. And did get to see, because apparently there's what's exciting for people who like dyeing with the fluorescent colors is that there is now a formulation of fluorescent blue. So, and it does glow. Not not sure if it's really blue, but apparently the fluorescent pigment is actually clear. So, like technically speaking, like you could just sell the fluorescent pigment. Not need to mess with the rest if you just want ridiculous fluorescence. But not too crazy there. So, would it be? So we'll just laugh a little bit since I probably didn't, strictly speaking, need yarn. But I am knitting 2 projects that are taking up a lot of volume in the stash, so that's good. I also have to laugh because my stash had been rearranged lately, so I think would it be the case where the fiber is overflowing to a certain extent. which is why I ended up putting it in the top. Um, and it would be the case where now with that Ulysses and or now with the Ulysses as well as the flywheel, like out of the containment, that definitely helped quite a bit with would it be how much stuff's in there. There's definitely places where it's actually pretty empty. There are holes again, which makes me feel good. So should be good. Like at some point I'll probably officially cast on for the Bambino sweater. Um and yeah, I guess it'll just be a question of what I end up deciding to do. This is actually probably going to be a while before I end up seeing my sister again, so we'll see. Or maybe I just have to mail it. But I did neglect to get my niece one, so. What it be, so she'll be, maybe I'll send it for her first birthday in November and call it good. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, anything else? Not that I can think of right now. So what would it be? So we'll just see how the swatching ends up, get the gauge measurement, do the quick double check, make sure everything's okay. What would it be? What was nice about doing all that swatching for the sweater was I was able to sort of figure out what in the world the pattern meant. And honestly, like it's really like not a ton of increases, so it was sort of helpful to be able to be like, oh, going from this chart to this chart, and there's a third one. It was like I'm only using 3 of the many charts that are in the pattern. So that was handy. Um, maybe like medium level annoying if knitting 2 sweaters at once, but it's okay. It's a small sweater. It's fine. But what else? I think that's everything. So should be a-okay for recording again in 2 weeks. Would it be barring any surprises? I don't know. I do have to clear out the room again. Would it be um so I'll have to tidy up again, I suppose. But would it be? It feels good to have my normal amount of chaos going, so that works out. Yeah, and we'll just see how everything works out. Yeah, and then there's my own, or would it be my own travel coming, so we'll have to get that all sorted. Yeah. Well, step one was getting my passport renewed, so that's begun, and we'll figure out where it goes from there. Would have been easier too. It would be. It's fine. Just a whole sequence of events. So, um, not because that I was like, oh, like come to Thailand. Be like, I don't have a passport. It's like as much as I would like to, not gonna be good. So, yeah, not too crazy. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.